Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little bit since I last uploaded. I have been trying to get used to being a mom, and it is really freaking hard to get used to, but it's going good so far for what I can say. Today I just wanted to talk to you guys about my birth story. It's been 7 weeks now since I had Nari. So her name is Nari. It's spelled Ngaire. It's from New Zealand, which is why the spelling is so weird, but it is Nari. So it's been 7 weeks now since I had her, and I think it's finally time to make a video about that. Don't mind this. I've been rearranging the house, trying to figure out where I want everything to go now that I actually have energy to do everything. So yeah, let's get into it. So I was induced on October 7th. I was induced due to gestational hypertension. So my blood pressure had been high. It was high continuously for a few weeks. Probably like over a month it had been continuously high. And I was starting to get non-stress tests done because they were concerned that I was going to turn into preeclampsia, which does technically run in my family because my older sister had it with all her kids. And so I was getting tested for it, and then I was also having pregnancy related tachycardia. So my doctor just decided that'd be best to induce me just due to all the things that I have going on, or I had going on. The only thing that he told me was my cervix was unfavorable for a natural delivery, so we were going to try induction, but if it didn't work I was most likely going to end up with a C-section. And he told me that going like before we even scheduled the induction, and I was okay with it because just as long as she got here healthy, then it was fine. And the only reason I agreed to an induction is because I had felt so terrible for the past few weeks. Like, my blood pressure was continuously going really high. I was having migraines, and then along with that, the tachycardia was making me really dizzy and nauseous all day. So I just needed her out, basically. So I was okay with, if I did get a C-section, I knew it was going to be hard to recover from, but it's not the end of the world for me. I know it's hard for a lot of moms to be okay with C-sections, but I was okay with it just because my mom had C-sections with all 4 of us, so I knew I was going to have a little bit of help there and how to recover and everything like that. So we went in on October 7th, which was a Sunday. We started the induction at 5 p.m. I got Cytotec, I think that's what it called, or cervix, I don't know. They just stick like a little tiny pill up your cervix. I got 4 doses of that every 3 hours. So the first dose was at 5, then at 8, and at 8 they checked me, there was no change. Okay, and then I got another dose at 11, and that dose, that was my 3rd dose, and at that point I had dilated to a 1, so there was a little bit of a change. And then my last dose was at 2 a.m. and I was starting to open up. I was like 1.5, I think she said, and I was having contractions all night, and it was horrible. So by 5 a.m. I decided I wanted the epidural because I was at a 3, I think, and I had no sleep all night, and so I got the epidural done at 6 a.m. when the anesthesiologist got in, and then we just waited for a while. I was supposed to start Pitocin at 6 as well, but my body was progressing naturally, so they didn't want to start the Pitocin just yet. My doctor broke my waters at 7, and that helped it go a little bit faster. By noon I was dilated to a 6, so I was dilating pretty fast. But at noon they decided to start me on Pitocin just because I was dilating fast, but since my water had broken, they wanted her to get out just as soon as possible already. And so with the Pitocin, by 5 p.m. I was at a 10, but I didn't have the urge to push, so they just waited it out a little bit. Probably like 20 minutes, and then I finally felt the urge, and then I started doing practice pushes with the nurse, and the nurse had me pushing for like 2 hours or so. Yeah, from 5 to 7. ish, 5 to 7:30, almost 8. No, 5 to 7. And then at 7, so the baby would, this is really weird to say, but the baby would come out and then she would come back in. Like, she couldn't make it under my pelvic bone. So she wanted to go talk to the doctor to see what he wanted to do. But right before she walked out, coffee break. She took my vital signs, and it turns out I was spiking a fever. So she went and told the doctor that. But the real kicker here is, she took an hour and a half to come back. So from 7 to 8:30-ish, I sat there feeling contractions with the urge to push, with my daughter's head almost out, not being able to do anything because I don't know what took her so long, but she took forever to get back. And then she finally came back in the room. She put me on antibiotics, but then she told me it was going to be another hour and a half before I could push. I was so mad at that point because it was just frustrating because the urge to push was there. And then the doctor came in, thankfully, like 10 minutes after she did, so like at 8:40-ish. And he was like, okay, do a practice push. And then I did the practice push, and he's like, no, this baby needs to come out right now. And so he suited up, took him 10 minutes to suit up, 10 minutes for the whole team to come in, prep me and everything. And then I started pushing. Within 3 pushes of when he got into the room and 1 small tear, she was here. So it was great. It was great to have her be here, and it just sucked having to wait that hour and a half when I probably didn't even have to wait that long. But you know what? It's okay. It's part of life. It is part of life. So she was born at 9:01 p.m. She was 7 pounds and 19 inches, so she was pretty average sized baby. She was born with low blood sugar. She also had spiked the fever, so she had an infection going on in her body. And she also had really bad jaundice, so she was our special baby. We got her blood sugar to go up because we had to formula feed her because her blood sugar was way too low for what the nurses were liking, and I wasn't producing any milk at all. So we gave her blood sugar or formula, and it helped get it to where they wanted it to be. Her jaundice levels never came down, and she actually was readmitted to the hospital to get extreme phototherapy when she was 3 days old. For 24 hours she was under a light, and then after that she was fine. So her fever also went away. They did antibiotics for the whole hospital stay. So for Monday to Wednesday they did antibiotics every 6 hours on her, so she had an IV. But she did really good. She's a good baby. She's 7 weeks, like I said. She weighs like 11 pounds now, so she's gaining weight pretty well. She's strictly formula fed because I never produced any milk, so I can't breastfeed her. I couldn't breastfeed her. She sleeps 8 hours at night and will wake up once, feed her, and then she's right back to bed for another 4 hours, so it's great. And then she hates tummy time, but she also likes it at the same time. It helps her tummy. She has a really upset tummy most of the time, so it helps her. And then she has reflux, so she's taking Zantac, baby Zantac, to help the reflux go away, and it's helped so much. And other than that, everything's been good. I had to have a D&C 8 days after birth because they left placenta and blood inside of my uterus, and I was hemorrhaging. So 8 days after she was born, I had to go back to the hospital and get emergency surgery done, which was great. So great. But everything at this point is going a lot better. Things are so much smoother. I see the light at the end of the tunnel finally. So yeah, I do have postpartum depression, so that's another thing that's been going on. Postpartum depression is probably the worst episode of depression I've ever had. I know that there's baby blues that last a week or two, but mine didn't go away after that. Actually, it's getting progressively worse. I am on medication for it. I'm actually on 4 types of medications for it, just because of how bad I am, bad my depression is. I was, by the doctors, I was labeled extremely depressed and severely anxious, and I feel that. I feel exactly what they described me as. So I am getting the help I need, and my family and my friends are very understanding of it, and they're willing to help me when I need help, which is very nice because I do need help. So they're willing to be there for me, and the medication is helping a lot. I'm also exercising since I was finally cleared for it, so that's helping me as well. Just because exercise has always been a good way for me to clear my mind. I'm back at my pre-pregnancy weight, so when I gave birth I was around 180 pounds, and my pre-pregnancy weight was 155, and I am at that right now. I have a little bit of a stomach pudge. I'll show you guys. So I have like the tiniest like pudge. It's not too bad though, but I have that. But other than that, I feel really good. I feel not normal, but I feel better, and I'm getting the help I need. And my birth story was very simple but also very crazy. The first 2 weeks of her life were very crazy, but I'm glad that everything's going smoother, and I'm glad that she's okay, and I'm glad that everything's okay now. But yeah, that is my pregnancy story. I feel a lot more comfortable now that I am more used to, there she is right now, more used to having, I don't know, let me bring her. I was going to bring her, but she ended up falling right back asleep, so we're solid. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to make another video and update you guys, or maybe make a vlog of a day in my life as a new mom, something like that, I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry for my appearance. I am still struggling with that, but again, thank you guys for watching. Bye.